Hello and welcome to Heartspace Education. If you're able to like or subscribe to this channel, that would be amazing. My first activity that I want to show you guys, I'm sure a lot of you would have done it already before in the past, but this here is our little mental health and wellness box. So you can use a shoebox. You can use, this is just a packaging box here, anything really, like anything that you can find. You don't have to buy anything. I'm sure you can recycle, find something laying around the house and use it as a box. Now, one of the things that we do when we make our mental health and wellness box is do some decorating. That's the fun part. And also the other part of it is to create a little box for when you are feeling unwell, and it has all different things inside it that can just help you to de-escalate. If you're feeling, overwhelmed and you've got severe anxiety or any of those kind of emotions that can be sometimes difficult to experience and also hard to come back from. So these boxes here are fantastic. So inside them, you can put whatever you want, music, you can put, well, I'll show you what I've got in mind. So I've put a little stress ball in it. I haven't actually opened it yet, but this is a little pineapple stress ball. And yeah, that's just a really good sensory tool for if I'm feeling anxious or just overwhelmed. So it's a nice, it brings you back to your body when you're using it. You're able to find something tactile, even Play-Doh, anything like that, that will help to bring you back to your body. Because when we feel overwhelmed, we're so overwhelmed by all of our emotions that we can often lose touch with the physical things around us. So bringing ourselves back to our body can really help. I've also put these little cards in here that I made up. So we've got a 5 cents countdown. So that's just a little reminder. It says name 5 things you see. Name 4 things you hear, name 3 things you feel, name 2 things you smell, and name a thing you taste, 1 thing you taste. So that's it there. So that just brings us back to the room that we're in, reminds us that although we might be feeling overwhelmed, I guess it's just a reminder that, we're in a safe space. Just bring you back to the room. I've also got this little one, a change of perspective. This is a really good one, especially for those people, and I'm one of them, that is quite emotional. And when our emotions are heightened, we often have a really difficult time rationalizing and thinking with our logical brain. So this is just a little handy exercise to do to help you to be more rational when you are feeling emotionally overwhelmed. So it just says, think of somebody you admire who is able to handle stressful situations in a calm, rational manner. Now imagine putting on their glasses so that you can view your current situation through their eyes. How might they approach this situation? So that's a really good one. And it's also a really good art therapy process as well, because you can actually draw some glasses and then draw the glasses and draw the situation through somebody else's eyes inside the lenses. So that's a really good art therapy activity. And then here, just a very simple one that says just breathe. It's teaching you breathing techniques. That also just helps to regulate your emotions when they're feeling quite overwhelming. So it says breathe in, and then it's got you 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So you need to count slowly to 4, and then you hold the breath for 4. Then you breathe out for 4, and then you hold it again for 4. So if you remember just counting to 4, so you go and then hold for 4, and then breathe out for 4, and then hold again for 4. And just keep doing that over and over until you've regulated your emotions and you've calmed yourself down. Now, this is a really good one if you've been worrying or stressing, and that can be a huge trigger for people's mental health. So making a list of the things that you do have control over and the things you have no control over. So it's just a little activity you can do that reminds you that all we can ever do is only within our control. There are other things that happen in our life that we have absolutely no control over. And those things, although they can be quite stressful, learning to accept those things can really help in teaching us how to be adaptive and go with the flow a little bit more. So that's a really, really good activity to do. And this one's just about honoring your emotions, because often when we're growing up, our emotions can be invalidated, and not feeling as though your emotions are valid can be a really big issue in adulthood when you're dealing with mental health. It can be really difficult. So just remember that this feeling will pass, and sit with this uncomfortable feeling and allow it to pass through you. And when I was studying art therapy, we had a little saying to have a cup of tea with it. So it's really okay that you feel this way. So just allowing those emotions to actually pass through you, feeling them, honoring them, knowing that it's okay to feel what you feel, because no feelings are wrong. And having a cup of tea with it, I guess, just gives you something mindful to do while you sit and process those emotions, and just allow them and let them be. Because the more we can just learn how to do that, it's just not healthy to hold on to emotions, and it's learning to sit with those emotions is it's not easy, and it's something that you have to continue learning and practicing throughout your life, really. So so that's that. I've got little cards, and you might have your own little sayings or positive quotes or something that works for you, and it's really handy to just write them on a piece of card. I've got a little like a key ring thing on it, so they're not going to go missing anywhere, and they stay in my mental health and wellness box. Now I've also got some slime, just a little tiny one that I got from Kmart, and that's just another sensory experience. Any sort of sensory experience can really help when we're feeling unwell and feeling overwhelmed, so that's a good one too to have in there. Slime or Play-Doh. Then I've got a little packet of bubbles. I used to be a smoker, and I think that my smoking was a way that I used, even though it's very unhealthy, to calm myself down. And my daughter had her first birthday, and we all had bubbles, and we were blowing bubbles. And I've since given up smoking, like a good few years ago now, probably 3 years ago. But when I was blowing the bubbles, it gave me that sensation of that calming down when I used to smoke, but it's a lot healthier, obviously. So blowing bubbles, it helps you to change your breathing, and it just gives you a release, I feel. And it's just a fun little thing to do. And if you do have kids and you are feeling like you're going through a bit of a mental health crisis, and you need to regulate your emotions, this is a really good one, because the kids can join in with you as well for that. I found these pop rocks. I remember when I remember in primary school having these, and you put them in the mouth and they all pop in your mouth. And it's just another sensory experience, really, to bring you back into your body and ground you, I guess. Yeah, so, and it's fun too. I also have a kaleidoscope here. Distraction can be a really good tool when you're feeling overwhelmed. So, oh wow, I didn't actually realize that before, but there's actually a bee. There's actually a bee in there. I don't know if it's gonna, oh my god, you can kind of see inside there. But anyway, that's just a really good distraction. Yeah, it's just pretty. You could even use it as a bit of mindfulness and then maybe do some art around it as well. Getting inspiration from the patterns. It reminds me of mandalas, which represent wholeness. And yeah, like drawing a mandala is a really, really good way of helping with mental ill health. So there's that too. And then I've just got got some texters in here. I've got a doodle book in here. It's got options for it's got some adult colouring sort of pictures and things like that. But it's also got a space for writing, because writing can really help too when you just need to get it out. You know, and something like this can be private, so you can write whatever you need to write in it. Yeah, so I just think it's a really good thing, and you don't need much space. You could be living in a tiny little unit, and if you've got one of these boxes and you just need to find somewhere to put it where you know where it's going to be when you need to use it. So you don't need a lot of space, you don't need a lot of money. You could find a lot of those sorts of things even in op shops. I love going to op shops. And look, you might put photos in, you might put postcards, you might have a favorite CD that you like listening to, you might have a comedy show. You could even write that down. If you've got some shows that cheer you up, write them down and put them on a list in there so that you remember, because when you are feeling overwhelmed, sometimes you need those little reminders of what works for you, because that's when you're not really thinking clearly. So anything to remind yourself of what can get you through that difficult period, you put inside this box. And the fun part is decorating the front of the box. So I will probably do a little video of me decorating this box, and yeah, have fun. I hope you guys have a chance to make one as well. Yeah, it's just a fun little activity. You can do it with your kids as well if you are home with the kids. It is school holidays at the moment, so that could be a really fun activity to do with your kids as well. And everybody can get on board with it, because it's really teaching kids how to deal with their mental health now is really important, I believe, because I feel as though my era has only learnt, and the eras before me have only learnt how to deal with mental health after the fact, after we've already had our mental ill health issues. So hopefully prevention is a really important thing. So if we can teach our kids how to regulate their emotions and how to express themselves, and all of those things that help us deal with our mental health, well, they're going to be much better set up for when they are adults and they are dealing with triggers and things like that. So yeah, so thank you. Hope you enjoyed this show. Please like and subscribe, and I will definitely be putting some more updates up soon. Thank you.